G'day, I'm Dr. Mark Locke, Nimpa First Nations Australian and Associate Editor for the Australian Journal of Rural Health. This is my video abstract for our position statement, Research and Reconciliation with Indigenous Peoples in Rural Health Research. Our proposition is this: it's time to plant a flag in the white soil of academic journal publishing and declare this discourse includes the cultural voices of Indigenous peoples. When I read a journal article about Indigenous people, I look at the author list and I see the usual Western credentials, position, degrees and organisation affiliation. But I also want to know what cultural lens they bring to their research, so I spend time finding out if the authors are Indigenous. And that's to assure me that the evidence provided by their research is constructed through an Indigenous lens, and therefore I would trust their evidence to be more relevant to my life and to the lives of other First Nations peoples. But too frequently, Indigenous status is not discernible in any way. In essence, Indigenous cultural identity is suppressed by the conventions of academic publishing. This research colonialism reflects a power imbalance that must end. So a consortium of 3 rural health journals, the Australian Journal of Rural Health, the Canadian Journal of Rural Medicine, and the Journal of Rural and Remote Health, have come together to declare our intention to publish nothing about Indigenous peoples without Indigenous peoples. So we've committed to developing a textual flag to signal to readers that the author is Indigenous, as denoted in our author list for this statement. It means that you see our Indigenous identity in the author list. I'm Nimpa. Other authors are also Wiradjuri, Gamilarang, Oglala Nakota, Minapui and Anishinaabe. It also means that journals will reject submitted articles that concern Indigenous communities but do not acknowledge an Indigenous author or provide evidence of a participatory process of Indigenous community engagement. So these two signals, the Indigenous identity of authors and no publication about Indigenous peoples without Indigenous peoples, flag the start of a journey of truth-telling and reconciliation with Indigenous peoples in rural health research publishing. Thank you.